the Declaration of Nationality, i.e. corrects the person's status and gives them the lawful capacity to speak for themselves. This is one of the reasons why the Europeans that occupy the Americas put their family names on the people in order to escheat their inheritances. Therefore, my position is nationalize the people and nationalize your resources. And the UCCs is not the resource. That's corporate contracts fraudulently to regulate resources that don't belong to them, including the natural persons. And the same thing with the fiat that they're fakely calling money, which is nothing but a declaration from Rome.
Anyone have questions? Write them down and bring them up, or we'll come by.
Yes. You would sue under Title 18 and Title 42, because those would deal with color of law. Now, Title 18, United States Code of Law, Title 18, Chapter 13, Section 241 and 242 would be dealing with those one or more persons who conspire to steal, to abridge, to interfere with the rights, the natural rights secured for the people or by the people, etc., etc. Also, if you're looking at even in their colorable statutes, you also deal with the United States Code of Law, Title 42, under color of law, dealing with 1986, 1983, etc. And have everyone do research in those areas, because remember, their corporate entities are persons too. This is why they did the 14th Amendment, to give the corporations a legitimacy as with personage, so they could do things to you to create the straw. And that's why you should attack them both in their corporate and in their private capacity.
Can everyone see the questions we're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
Title 18, for those who wanted to write it down. United States Code of Law, Title 18, Chapter 13, Sections 241 and 242. United States Codes of Law, Title 18, Chapter 13, Sections 241 and Section 242. Also, go down and look in the areas of racketeering and also sue them in that area. And then sue them for breach of contract, sue them for breach of oath, sue them for arbitrary. Are you following me? If there's anything I need to repeat, those are the areas that you need to look at. And if you do it in a larger body, you would have even more effect, which is the power of your unity.
Please explain the process, or is this not the form of such a process?
Yes.
Of what he just was speaking.
It is. Remember, whenever there's a violation of the rights of the people, the very nature of it becomes the federal question, even though it may be acted by a municipality or a province or a corporate entity to a single person. Once it is in violation of national or international law, it automatically becomes a federal question. Therefore, it would be filed in a Article 3 court, or what you would call a district or federal court, i.e. not state municipal. Now, and so the concept would be the same way that you would file any other complaint. Also, particularly in North America and under the United States, since they are claiming war powers, therefore you should seek communications with the local and provincial officials and assure or secure the name of the provost marshal who's allegedly operating in the different territories that are under the regional powers of the military regimes, and notify and make a complaint to them accordingly. No different than they would make a complaint about someone else who's committed a crime. On the same principle. This is also why when you make complaints, also carbon copy it to multiple departments to apprise them of the criminality that's taking place in those government, pseudo-government agencies and quasi-government agencies. Because then if they don't respond, then they are in complicity. And also can be charged with conspiracy. Because when a crime is going on, they are supposed to bring remedy, even without it even hitting the court, meaning those such persons should be arrested. Yes, federal court is equal to Supreme Court. Because all your federal courts are simply properly sanctioned courts with proper delegation of authority that have what you call Article 3 jurisdictional powers. And as you know, most of the state and ordinary provincial courts actually do not have judicial powers. You usually have ministerial persons acting under fraud, acting with judicial powers that do not reside with them. This is one of the tricks that they've been constantly using in the United States to rob common people. Always, when you have ministerial judges, which are simply clerk employees that have been faking as judges when they actually have no judicial power and using it for personal gain or raising funds for their municipalities. And traffic courts are good for that. All of them are fraudulent, every last one of them. And as I see here, yes, federal courts are equal to Supreme Court.
Okay, we're asking process for court procedures. This goes for us. In Canada.
Can you scroll down? All right. Now keep this in mind. Whenever you're filing any complaint, etc., make sure as a standard that everyone is always using legal size paper. That's for one. Two, always have your nation state's flag or insignia at the head of your paper. To place your nation state between you and your communications with provincial or corporate entities. That also sets the challenge proper and establishes true jurisdiction. This is so that they don't assume jurisdiction where jurisdiction does not reside. And remember, since they are occupying land that is not theirs, they are still held to principles of international law. Now, delegation of authority, as an example, in the Constitution for the United States of North America Republic, and I'm sure in the North Territory, Canaan land, that there would be relative construction in the Canadian Constitution. The delegation of authority order is any court or any persons that claim to be a court upon writ of discovery or of disclosure must have a license to operate, and that license or certification is a delegation of authority certification, and it should be posted. That is, if they are a legitimate court, they would have certification from the ministry or from the Congress that says just that, and that there are Article 3 courts having judicial powers and are not merely ministerial. Because what you find that many of them have ministers acting with judicial powers that do not reside with them. And this is why when you're communicating with them or with this alleged authority, judge, etc., you would also request of them to present into evidence and into the record their delegation of authority order.